Okay, hi everyone, this is Greg from Greg's Whisky Guide, Paris, France, once again. Continuing this series about BOWMORE Islay Scotch Single Malt Distillery. And this time we're gonna dive into bottlings that I'm sorry for many people not available in the current core range and in the market, except secondary market collectors sections of whiskey bars over the world, but sometimes some might be still available on dusty shelves. I'm thinking of the Laimrig maybe, but even for this one I'm not sure. It's the most recent of the ones we're gonna try today, I'm afraid. So it's more a collector's corner this time, but it also reveals, those bottlings for me reveal the real deal about the BOWMORE distillery, maybe more than the ones in the first episode, in my opinion. We're continuing. This is BOWMORE, my BOWMORE collection, and I will evoke a few other bottlings for sure that I don't have, but I tried several times or once, and this episode will be followed by a last one for now, let's say, which will be devoted to the things you see over there, which are independent bottlings, my 3+1 supposed to be, because it's undisclosed, but I strongly think it's BOWMORE. So those 4 here I talked about last time, you will see in the next episode, right? Before I start this, I'm giving a few informations about the BOWMORE distillery in the previous episode, so please, I will put the link below and probably at the end on your screen about it. Also, I would like, before starting the tastings, this episode will be way more based on tastings than the previous one. It was a bit too long because explaining my experience with BOWMORE, etc., and the history of the distillery. Just a few things, and I hope I will not forget to put a link below. About the distillery, there was something I found in French, but I really struggled to find back in English, but now I did, to correct a bit what I said about the BOWMORE distillery going green. It's also the case for Bruichladdich. And basically I'm gonna read a few lines and put you the article, which is very reliable because it's the Islay Energy Trust organization based on BOWMORE on Islay. Yeah, BOWMORE is also a town, I forgot to mention. And yeah, these are very technical things I wanted to say, and before that, the fact that there are a lot of things that are not wasted, and there are a lot of recycling, a lot of things to help the community. The swimming pool in the Marktagard Leisure Center, for instance, use waste heat from the BOWMORE distillery. And Bruichladdich distillery uses anaerobic digestion, that was hard to explain, to capture energy from its waste product. Roofing slate incorporate photovoltaic solar panels, were used also in an Gaelic community center. There's a lot of things now that are going green, so if you want to know more about that, it's quite technical and precise, so I will put the link below. I think it will be better like that, right? I will pause if needed from time to time, because part of my notes are not available. They're stuck in the middle of a lot of stuff. And like I said, I'm facing some domestic problems here, so I'm recording this because next week I'm not going to be able to record anything. Right, a few more things before I start. Last time we did try this, and as I was quite tired and getting to be I didn't notice the very, very tiny mention of course, first fill bourbon. I said it was a guess, but no, it's written, but I forgot. So it's first fill bourbon, yeah, entirely. Another thing, I might have mistaken different entry-level bottlings. And yes, I forgot to show you because the bottle, I dropped the bottle, but I still have this. This was the entry level. It's still on the market, I think, the small batch reserve, bourbon cask matured, 40% ABV. Quickly about this one, my rating is 73 out of 100. It's not a super rating, I have to say. It's decent. The nose is light. With some notes of tar, of peat, some cardboardy aspect. It's slightly fruity, citrus fruit, quite young. A hint of star anise. On the palate, a bit shy. Then develops towards a nice fruity and floral combo with a few maritime notes. In the background, it's the peat is a bit ashy. There's a bit of seaweed, orange, and trace of coffee. The problem with if you put a few drops of water, it gets cardboardy, and it doesn't super evolve in time. The thing is, I would have liked a 43%, where other expressions don't suffer too much. This one really needed 43 or 46. So yeah, that was my rate, 73 out of 100. One of the lowest, probably close to the legend rating. Another thing, when you buy the 12, it's behind me, the 12 years old, and sometimes you have nice boxes and you have this kind of glass, which I found very nice and interesting. The only problem is you have to put a lot of it. So I did a video, I'm showing the glass in the video about glasses, glassware, whiskey glassware especially, and glassware that could fit to whiskey tasting. And I recommend this one, but it's something to sip with a long time. Of course, it's also designed to welcome ice, but it's up to you. For the kind of things we're tasting today, it would be a crime, but for entry-level stuff, maybe up to you, right? Okay, so we're gonna dive in with the first whiskey, which is one of my really very favorite of the distillery, and I think it represents super well this distillery. I still have Whiskey Novice and New Drum Drinker toppers, coins. They're of course caramel colored, etc. 43% ABV. The Mariner was part of the core range, and then it became a travel retail expression. This was of course the early 2000s. Almost everything we're going to try today is from the early 2000s, at least the half of it. 3 expressions out of 5, I mean. For this one I have new notes, but I'm gonna also, this is something I bought probably 4 or 5 times. This is my last bottle. Unfortunately, as you can see, it's very low. Something that was available around 40 euros and a bit less over time. This one is supposed to be around 2005, but it could be earlier. Yes, I forgot once again. Yeah, never mind. I have some bottles buried into my, so this is quintessential BOWMORE for me because it's a quite complex and very rich one. But yeah, before talking too much, This is not the best batch I had from the Mariner. The best batch, you won't believe me, I rated it 96. This one is rated 90. It's more reasonable. The best batches were, despite 43% chill filtering, color added, etc. No, there's no etc. But you know what I mean. So it's industrial in a way, even if it's part of the process is still craft. Part of the, like I said last time, part of the malt is pitted on site, but it's only around, I don't know, 20-30%, something like that. I had the info before. But this is something that was very fluent, I mean very common to find in some channel shops here like Nicolas. This was very, even in some supermarket at some point it was available. So really something great and easy. The legs are sticking quite some time with some straight descending tears. I don't know if you can see that. It was something 43%. The nose is gorgeous. This is really what's all about BOWMORE for me. So, despite some say there is a strong floral element, but it is balanced with fruity elements, slightly maritime elements, not much seaweed on this one, but it's on the 25-30 years old, the old ones, that you had a lot of seaweed, iodine and stuff. This is way more civilized, if I may say. So this has a more sea salt, slightly tiny seaweed element, sea spray, not as much as in Talisker. The violet, slightly lavenderish combo, you still have it. Even some lilac, but there's something that stands out for me in that one. Also there's some Swiss chocolate, but it's the anise sweets, French anise sweets called Abbaye de Flavigny. For those who knew that, French viewers who are a bit old like me, there were very nice sweets that had a nice aniseed taste. And also on my old note I have, there's still a hint in there, this and I think I translated for you in advance. Yes, there's a hint of sugared coffee flavored with, for me, noyau de Poissy. Noyau de Poissy is a spirit made of apricot pit or apricot stone. It was hard to find this, but translation. What else did I want to translate for you? We'll see later on. Yeah, so quite something complex. There's also some there's some slightly herbal elements, slightly sweet spices, dark chocolate as well. Of course, raisins. Okay, let's get on the palate now. After some water, it's my first dram of the day. Oh my god, this is delicious. Okay, it's getting more melted than before, but you have everything BOWMORE in there, in that, which is everything is really well structured and melted together. The peat smoke, which is again low, something around 20-25 ppm, less after distilling and aging, but it's really marrying the other flavors, the floral, the fruity, the chocolate, the raisins, so dried fruits. Hint of leather there, but less than in other expressions, and probably one we're gonna try next. Really gorgeous whiskey. This one I'm gonna increase the rating. I'm sorry guys. Yeah, so let me pause a second, I'm sorry. Okay, we'll correct this after I add some water. But overall, gorgeous. Of course, so frustrating to contemporary standards. Now we're used to more, some say integrity. I would say more genuine drams. Or unadulterated. That's why you have to look for those who don't like the car range, etc., and all these sanitizing things. Look at the indie bottling offer. Definitely. You know, but I will speak more about indie bottlings in the next and last episode. Yeah, okay, I confirm. So this is hard to describe how quiet, balanced, serene, and really ça survole le reste. It's something as beautiful, maybe more complex, yeah, sure, more complex, but as beautiful and as well crafted for me as the Highland Park 12, if you wonder. So yeah, 91.5 has to be the rating for this. Let me have another sip of water. And we're going now to the next one. I think we're good time-wise. Next one, I will apologize because the cork is broken and I didn't want to fill it just for the here's what is left of the cask strength 2008 release. 40 years old is supposed to be 40 years old. It's not a certainty. It was what was said at the time, and is 56% ABV. Comes out with a nice tube. So this one is again something quite old. Put that on the side. This is the tube. This one showcases the vaults, the #1 vault, for instance, but not only. So the Islay warehouses. What does it say? Doesn't say much about what is inside. My guess it's a mix of bourbon and sherry casks. Even the 56%, I'm not sure it's not 56 point something. So it said cask strength, but it's probably a batch strength worked one. But oops, there you have it. So this one is one of the legendary, not as legendary as the Black BOWMORE, etc., of course, but this one and the Dawn we're gonna try later on is really one of the popular, let's say, among the BOWMORE fan and Islay fans expression, the cask strength, the Dawn. There was also a few others I will mention later on, but this one was, yeah. So this one, of course, has disappeared. Legs are not sticking super long, but it's that's diffracting several parts. It's a bit unusual. very tight, very small legs. The tears are not coming down easily, so this shows both the 14 to 50 years old and the high ABV. I'm afraid everything you're gonna see today is chill filtered and colored, but it doesn't alter too much, let's say with caution, the result. It alters it for sure, but I don't feel it there are bad whiskies at all. So this one is more leafy on the profile. Let's head over to my notes because I don't have the sheet, but I might find my old notes. There you go, 2006. Most probably this one, but maybe older one. Not very maritime expression. The violet thing is subdued, but there's more ripe fruit, varied ripe fruit, and a bit burn wood, slightly red fruits, and a lot of green elements, soft elements such as fern and forest moss, and slightly resinous pine note in the finish. It's something oily. It's what I wrote about the first batch I had. This one has even now some almost petrol-y element, like some old BOWMORE had. It's not carony, it's not some rum heavily petrol-y, but there's a slight note of that. You can find this in old BOWMORE sometimes. So this is not on the same league of the Mariner. Okay, on the palate, Sanjava. Oh my god, this is delicious. More on the herbal and spicy side. Some ginger, some black pepper. This is less civilized expression, but I like it because it still has some floral slash ripe fruit slash chocolate profile. Yeah, the fern, the several forest elements that are interesting, even maybe some mushrooms. Very nice. Less the aniseed thing. There's no aniseed there. Sorry, let me add some water. Yeah. Little swill. Again, if you have a big amount, let's say 4 or 5 cl, a unit of alcohol is 4 cl normally. Sorry, but if you put 6, you're gonna spend all the evening. Let's say you put 5 or 6 in there. I think you can spend a nice time. Okay, sorry. Now with some water. Maybe I should add more. We'll see. We'll add a bit more. Pause a second. Sorry. Interestingly, the fern and forest moss and kind of almost continental Highlander malt makes it very special, different. I add a few drops more. A very special expression, I have to say. I had the chance to find this in a wee supermarket, and for, when was it? I don't have my record. Let me check. Should have checked that before, but my my sheet is full of information, so I didn't have the. Whoa, 4772 Marché U Montorgueil. It's funny. It was dusting in the shelves around 2006, something like that. So these were not sought after people who were not knowing much about whiskey, despite the nice packaging. It's n.a.s, but it was known that it was most probably 14 to 15 years old at this time. We're gonna. I didn't. Forget about that. I'm gonna switch to something that's more recent and then go back. But there's a reason for that. We're gonna go now into the Laimrig. There was a new series introduced in the 2000s. This one is from 2012. It's a batch what? What a shame, Greg. I thought I had it there. Oh, first edition, November 2012. Okay, I thought it was 3, but I mistaked with the. I think I mistake with the Tempest. That's why I apologize. Okay, Laimrig first edition, sherry casks, finished. I thought it was full sherry. No, it's also a finish. 18,000 bottles, sold around 75 euros in retailers only. So it was a Nicolas channel of shops exclusive in France. That was also in other countries, of course. 18,000 bottles, first release. Did the malt whiskey yearbook says when it was introduced? 2012, obviously. Oh, they say 2009, so I'm surprised. Same as for the Tempest, but I know it's wrong for the Tempest because it's 2008. So sometimes malt whiskey yearbook, I'm sorry to say, does mistake. Because I know this one's from 2012. Now, that said, I'm not sure it's a first release, to be honest. Oh, let's see what's on the box. I'm losing time with stupid things. Limited release, a maturation in hand-selected Spanish sherry oak casks. Okay. And then some blah blah. Okay, coming from number 1 votes, they say. You gotta trust them. So according to this, it's full sherried. While for me, yeah, okay, full sherried, okay. I don't know why I said that. The bottle, I have to say, is quite low now. It started quite difficult, a lot of sulfur, and then it did settle down over time, especially at the middle, around the middle of the bottle, the level. On the nose, there's still some sulfur in there. It's a more modern style of BOWMORE. 15 years old, but yeah, distilled in the late 90s. And you can see that also. We'll see that there's a red line between my 1987 independent release vintage, 23 years old, and this one. This is on the more austere side, on the slight sulfury, more herbal, more spicy, a firmer, a bit more tannic profile than the Mariner, of course, and even than the cask strength we tried. So I get ripe fruits, I get some raisins, figs, dates. It's not a sherry monster, some say it's a subdued sherry monster or a more ripe fruit sherry monster. I will say, what did I wrote else on the nose, on my old notes? Yeah, some matches. Yeah, some matches, grattoir d'allumettes in French. You just struck the matches and to light your cigarette or something else. A bit oaky, some firmness, yeah, a bit rubbery also, less now. Some burnt wood, something between the darkest and the 18, if you wonder, but more tight with more ABV, 53.5. No, 53.7. Why did I wrote that here wrong? Yeah, I'm quite disturbed by a lot of things currently, so I do make mistakes. I'm sorry about that. Okay, let's go on the palate. Ooh, ooh, nice. The floral side comes back, but with more on a bed of more powerful structure of oak. Not too much, but some tannins, but also some nice ripe fruit. A bed of ripe fruit and dark chocolate, let's say. There's some islet floral elements and slightly maritime on top of a lot of sherried firm oak and stuff. But it's not super tannic, it's not undrinkable, it's not, it's very melted, especially now. It was more difficult in the beginning, I had to say. This is beautiful. This is really getting really nice now. My rate is 89.5 because it was a bit closed on the profile, but it's getting better and better. I did pump the air out of this one. I didn't gas it. I don't gas anymore my peated whiskies. I found it a bit weird when I did that before. I tried with some BOWMORE and it didn't work. The peat was tending to go out, so I should do, I'm sorry I'm late on that, a special episode on preserving your whiskies, but because there are several methods for that, and you can combine them or alternate. Yeah, slightly aniseed there, but not much. To give you an idea, among the old BOWMORE release, this is the one that probably is the closest to the Ben Romach cask strength vintage expression from those last years, in my opinion. It's a bit of a guess also, because I only have the batch 1 2008 cask strength of Ben Romach. I haven't tried the others, but some people tell me it's not so far from the first release, so this is my just comparison to give you an idea. The finish is great, because it's really showcased them now, especially the melting of the... I don't have backup bottles for all these, I have to say. These are super rare now, especially, yeah, almost all. You have some oak coming back, some spices, black pepper, no really chili pepper, but maybe, yeah, I would say some Sichuan pepper on that one. Something slightly acidulous and reddish elements in there. The sulfur is still there on the background, but it's really working well with this sherry monsterish wannabe in a way. It was a sherry monster in the beginning. It is not now anymore. That's more struck matches than really sulfur for me. So it's quite moderate. Some you can find in Erratum sherry expression, for instance. Beautiful stuff. So yeah, this was the Laimrig. Anyone? So I hope this was interesting. I hope you will find some interest to discover more about this distillery, which is often underrated and overlooked, in my opinion. This is now... Let me try something. No, it's not better. Maybe I should put that over here. So this is the Dawn, which is a legendary bottling, let me tell you. Before I show you this is only what's left of it for me. So you see, it's a shame. This one is Ruby Port cask finish. It was bottled before 2007, probably 2005 or something like that, but I cannot find information. I don't see any silk screen engraved mentions. This is crazy. Again, the cork is broken, so I didn't want to fill it just for fun and for the pictures. I am sorry, but so this is the color. Again, this is color added and chill filtered, but this is a 51.5 ABV. This one is American oak and European oak, so ex-Bourbon and ex-Sherry cask matured, and then there's 2 years in Ruby Port cask. I did a previous video about port finishes where I spoke a bit more about that, so please, if you're interested in that topic, hand over to my port finishes series. This is an unfinished series about finishes, by the way, because I still have to do the rum cask finished whiskies, and I have quite some. So I've got to put a reminder for me about that. Could be an interesting video. What do you think? Give me your thoughts. Do you want to see other finishes? I did Madeira finishes. I didn't do a sherry finish because I did a peat and sherry, but I might do some at some point. But I did a Madeira, which is one of my favorite finishes. Madeira port. I talked about sherry, and yeah, I really need to speak about rum finish. I have few interesting ones in Scottish territory, also in Irish. Some undisclosed and disclosed bushmills, for instance. But it's another topic. This one used to be one of my very favorite expressions. I don't have my current note, but I'm gonna rely on my own old notes, and of course on my tasting with you. The level is quite low, that's why I have to check out my own notes. 12 pages of notes about BOWMORE. So like I said, I tried a lot of BOWMORE. Yeah, I see the BOWMORE 12 gold BOWMORE dumpy gold label bottle, 96 out of 100. Crazy things they did in the past. I see a BOWMORE in my notes, 16 years old, limited edition, port matured also. Bottle in 2007, and it's a 53.1 that I didn't like this one at all. It was a full matured one. Yeah, okay, good to know. I see a Clara finish. Yeah, also I have to tell you, there it is. 55 euros in 2007. Right. I have to tell you, they also did one called Voyage for travel retail, which was in the early 2000s, like this one, expression. Very popular, that one, but quite expensive and hard to find, and now even more. This one, I saw it on several websites, including La Maison du Whisky, at insane price. Something around 50 euros that became around 400 or more. So this one is quite sought after. The price jumped a lot in secondary market. But there's a reason for that. Gorgeous, gorgeous whiskey, and you have some heather honey in there, some heather notes, also some fern. You have some maritime notes, and of course the subtle floral notes. Why I'm looking at my notes at the same time? Because there certainly some, sorry to say, degradation in there. Even if it was the air was pumped, etc. I should have probably left this half an hour before doing it, but I didn't have time. I'm trying to do as much as possible with all that's happening now in my house to give you some content, so sorry about that. Yes, becomes to be a bit OBA effect in there, unfortunately, but still beautiful maritime. This one is closer to the cask strength than it was before. The port was working a lot more in the beginning, in the first half of the bottle, with beautiful candied fruit notes. Let me go back, to the screen. Some beautiful, slightly aniseed and violet lilac notes. Okay, let's go on the palate. I hope it's still good. I haven't tried it for years, saving it for sharing with people. Oof. Bloody hell. Okay, there's a loss now, I'm sure, of the port influence, but there's this BOWMORE backbone structure skeleton, which is super strong. This is almost now closer to the cask strength than it was before. I can't almost not feel the port anymore. Some rounded candied fruit. But I can tell you, if I see my notes, I read you my notes, I translate immediately. Rounded and getting a bit drier after a few minutes palate. Attack-wise, quite smoky, marvelously fruity, floral and oaky. Faithful to the nose, which had heather notes, red fruit, leather, maritime notes at slightly iodine, seaweed, salt, but not too much. Chimney fire smoke, almost just extinguished. Yeah, there's a feeling often in BOWMORE of you just stopped the chimney. It's stopped. It doesn't burn anymore, but everything is enveloping the room, like probably in the Bothy. Rolfie hint. And then there's the floral charming notes from the violet, the lilac, maybe something else that's coming across very smoothly, and then the palate is a bit drier, marvelously fruity. I said that already, sorry. There's some quite substance, there's some oily and coating texture, slightly winey profile and sweet, before finishing in a spicy note. I will also read the following notes after I add a few drops. I'm sorry if this one is a bit degraded, obviously. from what it was before, but it's still history in a bottle. BOWMORE history, and my history maybe with it. Let's put a bit more, maybe it will awaken more things. I hope so. Okay, let's go quick. It's beautiful, but there's a loss. But because when I read there, sumptuous reaction to a few drops of water, new notes appear: coffee, plum pudding, Swiss chocolate, dates, some green notes between mushrooms and forest moss and fern. The floral notes are even more highlighted there, and the palette has widened. One of the most smoky and beautiful BOWMORE I had to try. Close to the Mariner, but with more fat and more finesse. Red fruits of dark cherries, slightly caramelized, some aniseed that were so beautiful in the Mariner. Beautifully integrated peat smoke notes. This is really a whiskey to try before an old chimney fire, and compared with Yoichi distilleries, because they have some similarities. And this is what I wrote about the bottle when it was at this level, and I gave it a 97, which I cannot give now, of course. Probably dropped by 7, and there's too much OBA in there, so I'm sorry about that. But I had to do it now before everything is gone on my older side of things of the collection. I still hope it's interesting, my friends. Otherwise, tell me. Don't know what to say. Last but not least, one of my very favorite BOWMORE, probably the best of my collection, with the 97 Berry Blossom Rod we're gonna try next week, hopefully, if I can, or the week after, because I'm not going to be able to do a video next week, I think, except if everything we're gonna do here in the flat to get rid of some things will be efficient. It's very scary because I'm afraid it will destroy all my collection, but I cannot move it right now, so voila, we'll see. Suspense. That's the way things goes, and you can do nothing about it. This one is a Distillery Exclusive. Comes with a box like this. A bit austere, I think, for what it is, unfortunately. And a lot of talk, and an interesting thing here. So Distillery Exclusive, and it's something that was released in 2008. First, with an outturn of 3,000 bottles. This is part of the Craftsmen collection, and it's called MALTMEN'S Selection. I know it's a bit too much things, to 54.6. This little baby, beautiful baby, is 5 casks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 5 cask, very small batch. Yeah, filled in the 13th of July of 1995. Let me see if I can read you quickly a few things before we get to an hour. So this one is to celebrate the BOWMORE Maltmen that you can see in the video I've linked last time. Carefully steeping the barley on the natural Islay water source from the Lagan River. Blah blah blah. It explains the process of the barley. Okay, maybe you're interested in this. The damp barley is then spread over the malt barn floors using traditional barley barrows. For 5 days the maltmen tend to the precious barley day and night. To ensure consistent germination, the barley is turned by hand using wooden shovels every 4 hours. Only years of experience can determine when the barley is just perfect for kilning. The green malt is then transferred to the distillery kiln, where the warm peat smoke slowly permeates through the malted barley as it dries. The result is golden, sweet, smoky BOWMORE malted barley ready to create Isla's original single malt whiskey. The maltmen, we have to pay homage to the maltmen there, have hand-selected 5 casks from the dark distillery vaults to produce this limited edition from all the casks quietly maturing. So they selected 5 sherry butts originally filled with the 1995. Cask numbers are 1551, 1552, 1553, 1559 and 1560. They were selected for their individual distinct character and named together to produce these 13 years old only, but you're gonna see. Bottled straight from the cask at a natural cask strength of 54.6. There's some marketing blah blah, but the BOWMORE maltmen are passionate, very proud of this unique BOWMORE. Each bottle has, as you can see, individually numbered. And they have added a signature below as a testament to its quality. So the names are, we have to mention those guys because it's quite a hard work. Even if I haven't tried myself, I saw bloggers, I saw vloggers do that at several distilleries, and they said it was very hard work, as Pete also working on extracting peat. So these guys, the maltmen, are David Park, Brian Logan, Philip Gray and Paul Patterson. Hats off to you guys. People in whiskey as important as the whiskey itself. Otherwise there's no whiskey. And the whiskey, there it is. I apologize for the Ardbeg glass. I didn't have another 5th one available. You see where it is? I shared with several people. Some will have this blind, by the way, some not. Cannot tell you more right now. I think of 2 people that not sure will they're gonna see those series because they're long videos, but not really sulfur, maybe a hint of it, but dark cherry right from the start. Super melting of the flavors. And for this one I have yeah, there it is. Not much notes, by the way. Strangely, I didn't note too many things on this one. Sorry, for those, excuse me, who wonder, this was sold around 2008, 2011. I had it in 2011, thanks to Mike in UK. If you see me, hats off to you, my friend, Mike Robinson. He bought this at the distillery for me and bring it back from Islay. This is a Distillery Exclusive, yes, this was. There's been other expressions in the Craftsmen collection, alas I haven't the occasion to try them, but he brought it me back. It was around £100, 115 euros at that time. Now if you look for this, you have to add a 0, I'm afraid, in the secondary market. This is my most precious BOWMORE here. loads of dark chocolate, different kind of chocolate, tart sherry, something like raisins, dates, figs, lots of figs. This is endless. I could spend half an hour on the nose only. Okay, Slangeva. Words don't come easy. Words are useless. Blah blah blah. You see what I mean? I mean, it's a quintessential, like the Mariner, but in another way, with maybe a high voltage version of it. More dark, more leather. Not really some tannins. It's really beautiful. It's really soft in a way. This almost doesn't need water. This is absolutely gorgeous. Everything is melted. The smoke, the peat smoke is moderated, but you can still feel it, of course. In fact, it's really the structure of this whiskey is dark fruits, dark chocolate, and peat smoke. It's like a sherry chimney of sherry chimney of a treat. I don't know what else to say. I'm gonna open it up, but slight aniseed on the background, but honestly, there's most thing is beautiful floral. Violets, lilacs, slightly lavenderish, but I don't want you to think it's overly floral. It is not. Everything is melted together. The dark fruits, ripe fruits, dark chocolate, peat smoke. Not very maritime. This one is heavily on the sherry side, but it's not a sherry monster for me, or it is a sherry monster in the most balanced and quiet sense of it. So it's not Abuna, it's not Nadra, Glenlivet, Oloroso, it's not a high voltage at the Dow. It's something different. Excuse me. And it's gonna be an hour again. Holy smoke. Let's put a few drops in it with a lot of care. Don't know what I'm gonna do with what's left. It's getting super late here, but it's a pleasure to do this video for you because I'm trying some of my best whiskies there. Especially this one is in a good shape, I have to say. Okay, some tannins start to come across, but not so much. I didn't talk about the spices. Slightly some different kinds of pepper. Maybe the 5 berries pepper, poivre 5 baies in French. Because there's something slightly acidulous and slightly red in there. Red in the sense of red fruits, so baie rose, etc. French. What's baie rose in English, by the way? I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to find this in time. I do this video. I'm not gonna pause because we're nearly at the end of it. Let's see if Lexilogos, I have to thank this. Oh. Oh, these dictionaries are not precise enough. Okay, gonna pause for a second. I'm sorry again. Okay, I apologize. I cannot find any equivalent translation at Baie Rose. It's basically pink berry. I don't know if it makes sense in English. I'm sorry. But it's a hint of this in there. It's getting more and more floral and charming on the nose with a few drops. It's insanely good. Let me check the rating a second. Okay, I'm changing the rating. I'm changing the rating for 94. I thought it was higher. I rated higher in another bottle I had at a friend. But for now, well, it's only there. I rated 94, which is still a pretty good rate. And on that, I salute you and wish you a nice day. Hoping, hide that Arbeck, please. I like Arbeck, don't be, it's different. Hope you liked it. Bear with me for the last episode about indie bottlings, especially those 3. And hope you liked it. Please let me a comment. Do you have an experience on rare BOWMORE, on rare whiskies? What are your favorite BOWMOREs? Have you tried any interesting BOWMOREs lately? You can recommend me some indie bottling maybe. And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and click the notification bell for more. And see you soon for a next BOWMORE episode and maybe another one in between.